So I honestly have to say this review period of this backpack has been a lot of fun. So this is the Nectrum Vanta 22 Robic. This backpack that you can see here has been an amazing experience to carry around. So just to paint a picture, I have been booked for an editing job here in Hamburg, to which I had to go every single day with a bunch of editing equipment. If you've seen one of my previous videos, I utilized the Black Ember Forge and the Bellroy rolling travel case to kind of lug around all of my gear. In that scenario, I actually had to carry a dual screen, the UPerfect dual laptop screen or monitor, multiple bottles because there wasn't a coffee machine, or at least not one that I really enjoyed, and speakers, so a little bit more of equipment. In this case, I actually only need a few items that I will go over in just a minute, but still much more items than other people would carry around. And I was able to fit everything into this backpack, and I have to say carrying this backpack was extremely enjoyable, and it was really cool to use to load and unload all of my gear every single day, because I did not leave my equipment at the office. I always packed it up, brought it back home, and then on the next day brought it back to the office and built everything up on the office workstation to have my gear running on their monitors and speakers. So that is why I did not need to carry that rolling luggage, because although it was a lot of equipment, I was able to fit everything inside. And before I continue with what's good and what's bad, let's take a look what I have inside this backpack. Alright, let's talk about what's inside this bag. Let's start with the water bottle compartment. In here I have my LARQ PureVis 2 water bottle. I bought this when I went to Thailand for a Muay Thai camp. In Germany, I probably wouldn't need all of the features of this bottle, because this has a UVC light and a filter inside, and I'm using the advanced filter, which filters out even more stuff. Again, in Germany, I probably wouldn't need all of the features, but when I went to Thailand for the Muay Thai camp, although I got water at the gym from a water dispenser, I just wanted some extra security, which is why I got this. Granted, very expensive bottle, but with the UVC light and the filter, I just felt much more safe drinking water from the water dispenser. Again, it's a big investment, but I felt like when in Thailand, I just wanted to be safe and I didn't want an upset stomach. So I got this bottle again for Germany, a little bit of an overkill. Still, I do like this bottle quite a lot. It's also isolated, so I tend to drink warmer water. So I don't like ice cold water. So that, especially in winter, it's good that the temperature of the water doesn't kind of fall down and becomes too cold. I just don't like that too much. So LARQ water bottle is the first item inside this water bottle slot, to which I will get into a second, because there is this compression strap that, yeah, there is a trade-off with this kind of water bottle compartment. Then in the laptop slot, I have my trusty MacBook Pro 14-inch M3 edition. I just got myself a MagSafe ring. I will show you in just a second how I attach my SSD to here, because while this is a great addition to the laptop, because I store my SSD in here, or I have been storing my SSD in here, but maybe you can see it here as well. It is an elastic and it's not as strong anymore, unfortunately. A good addition, but this MagSafe ring is a little bit better. By the way, all of the items mentioned in this video will be linked below. Those are affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you do so, thank you very much. So this is an M3 Pro refurbished. I bought this refurbished from Apple. MacBook Pro 14-inch, and I would say a 16-inch would fit into this laptop slot perfectly well. One caveat with this, which I will mention also in just a second, you will need to use my little tampon tissue package or Kleenex tissue package hack, where I put this at the bottom and then laptop basically stands on top of this package to make it a little bit secure. Again, I will get to that in just a second. Furthermore, what you need to kind of know is you put the laptop not like this in here, because there is a little bit of I don't know, a corner here. You kind of need to put your laptop in from kind of sliding it into the top and then down. Not a big deal, but just something that you need to keep in mind. Again, not a big deal, it's just something to know. So there's plenty of room for a big laptop. So that was the laptop compartment. Now let's talk about the front compartment. Here I store my DJI Pocket 3 with its little tripod. While this is a huge compartment that goes all the way to the bottom, it kind of shares the capacity or the volume with all of the pockets, the main compartment and these front pockets. And I would kind of argue this is kind of a quick access, small, flat storage pouch, maybe for magazine, documents, stuff like that, or in my case, the DJI Pocket 3, because I want to access it quickly. But I would not consider this like a big compartment where I don't know, store some tech pouch or whatever. This, yeah, for me is good, but not as voluminous, capacious like other compartments. Then here in the front, when I open up this compression strap, we have two quick access compartments, which I really like. And this does remind me of the Mission Workshop rake. So you have two of these slots that you can open up like so, and you can organize and store all of the items. So basically, this side for me has the Balroy Carryology pencil pouch case, which is my boo-boo kit. I have some lotion because it's winter. I also have a titanium spork. I actually just carried this because why did I carry this? There were cutlery at the office. I don't know. I just thought I needed it. That's why I kind of stored it in here. So that is basically on this side. Then on the other side, we have my extended EDC in this Tactical Geek pouch. Extended EDC means all of the items that are good to have and I like to carry with me, but are not as important to carry inside my everyday carry sling bag or in my pants pocket. So it has an extra charger for my phone, cables, these small little handy multi-tools, a bottle opener, stuff like that. Maybe you can see it there, but also a small little 400 milliampere hour power bank with a charger for my Samsung smartwatch. I am actually currently thinking about getting a Whoop fitness armband instead of using this Ultrahuman Air ring and my Samsung smartwatch, because I want to utilize that also for boxing. Obviously with my ring, I cannot use this for Muay Thai or boxing. So I'm kind of considering getting a Whoop band, but I just don't know about the subscription. Does any one of you have Whoop band? And if so, let me know in the comment section below if you consider the high subscription fee worth it. I do know there are alternatives like the Helio strap that doesn't have a subscription, but I did recognize I benefit a lot of motivation when there is somewhat of a, oh, your cardio age is this number, or your overall health age is this number. This is something that really motivates me, and the Ultrahuman Air ring has that. I know that the Amazfit Helio strap does not have that, but the Whoop band does it. So I don't really know if I should get a Whoop band because of this high subscription fee. Okay, sorry about that tangent. But yeah, those two items are in these front compartment, which I really like. They keep everything so well organized. Now, getting into, oh no, sorry. There is another top quick access pocket. Here I actually store hand lotion. Again, it's winter. My hands are really dry. Maybe you can see it here a little bit. But also I kept my car keys in here when I was parking and going to the office. So this is really handy for quick storage of items, especially when you're traveling. I do utilize these quick access slots as a temporary storage for important items when I'm going through the TSA check. So keys, wallet, maybe your passport, but only again for temporary storage if you're going through TSA check, because I just don't like having those small items like a wallet in those plastic bins. I rather keep them in these kind of pockets while going through the security check. Now, going into the main compartment, which is clamshell opening, that is one of the benefits of this bag. I really like clamshell opening bags, and it's really important. Now, here you have some mesh pockets, and this is my SSD that I put onto this MagSafe adapter. So obviously not all SSDs have MagSafe. Yes, you can buy some MagSafe SSDs, but if you don't have one, for example, I use a lot of Samsung T5, T7 hard drives, and this is one from Ugreen. They don't have MagSafe, then you use this, and bam, you can kind of attach it to here. It's very strong. I actually did a lot of kind of questioning. I wouldn't call it research, because I was afraid, okay, does this magnet kind of affect the display in any way? And as far as I can tell from what I have been researching, no, it does not affect your display. So yeah, I am using this on my MacBook for now, because it is actually very helpful when you have to switch desks and you really want to make sure that your SSD is connected to your MacBook while maybe moving about in the office. So that I stored in this mesh pocket, then another pocket of tissues. Here we have my Evergoods Cap 2 liters, absolutely favorite tech pouch with my Logitech MX Master, a OE GAN charger, cables and whatnot. Really good to kind of keep everything organized, but also utilize it as a desk cradle, sitting next to your laptop while you're working. Really good to keep everything tidy and neat, especially when you are in an office or at a desk where you usually don't reside. Then I have my favorite keyboard. This is the knock-free split keyboard. As someone who has to work on a computer a lot and also utilizes a lot of shortcuts, I would argue I work 80% on the keyboard when I'm editing and 20% with the mouse. So it's really important to have a good keyboard that is ergonomic, because not only, so what you do is, let me do this, I'm doing this over my head, so maybe, how can I show you? So if you have a regular keyboard like so, I hope you can see it, then your hands basically are always a little bit tilted in that direction. When you split it up, you can actually, you see this kind of bend in my hand? When you have a split keyboard, you can actually move it here and then kind of create this non-angle in your wrist. Furthermore, you can tent it. So instead of your hand, imagine this being my table. Instead of your hand being flat like this and there is some, albeit very small amount of unnatural angle, you can actually, again, this is your desk, you can actually tilt your hand in that, somewhat in a more natural direction. So instead of your hand being like so, it's now so, and instead of being your hand like a little bit twisted, you can put it in a natural position. And that makes a huge difference for me. It's so much more comfortable working on this keyboard opposed to a regular keyboard, which is why I love this keyboard so much. Speaking of ergonomics, you also want to kind of make sure that your neck is not strained and make sure that the position of your monitor is at eye level. With a laptop, in this project, I brought my laptop to kind of edit whilst also getting a second monitor. So I wanted to use both monitors on my MacBook, but also on the desk. And I wanted to make sure that the laptop's monitor is on eye level. So I got this Nexstand that kind of raises up the laptop to eye level. This thing is amazing. I really love this. Granted, it is a little bit plasticky feeling, and I wonder of the long-term durability of this, kind of opening up, closing and stuff like that, if something would break over time. But because this is plastic, it is also lightweight, and therefore it's not a big deal to kind of carry with you when you, for example, have to travel to a workplace or whatever. So this is a really good addition to my overall editing setup. Then, obviously, in an office, you cannot use your speakers all of the time, so you have to work with your headset. So I'm using a Sennheiser HD25. This was my DJ headset, but it's also really good for editing. And I also have a new addition here, which I really like. So I can put this in the 3.5 millimeter output of my laptop. But what I did notice, what was really a little bit annoying, that when I kind of showed my clients an edit, and then there was a message from WhatsApp or from my email, then what would ping, right? So I wanted to separate not only my system sounds, but also from Adobe Premiere. So I got this high-res audio, which, I forgot the brand. This is the GoLink Max from iFi. So I don't know if you can see it. This is a audio DAC, a high-quality audio DAC that you connect via USB-C, and then you have 3.5 outputs for either your speakers or your, what's this called? Headphone, for your headphones. So I can basically tell Adobe Premiere, please put the sound to this iFi GoLink Max, while my system sounds are on the internal speakers or on the 3.5 output of the MacBook. And that was extremely helpful. Plus the sound is actually, I'm not an audiophile, but I felt like the sound quality was actually a little bit better. Then in this really cool Gura pouch that I really like a lot, this is the Gura Etc. M size. So hopefully you can see it here. I have the Ugreen Revodok Max, which has 3 USB-A ports, where I have on one side, it's not here right now, the receiver of the keyboard, then the receiver of my mouse, the Logitech MX Master, plus you have 3 USB-C Thunderbolt or USB-C outputs. One obviously goes to your MacBook, and then you also have power here. So I actually use this for connecting all of my peripherals, but also for power to the MacBook. Unfortunately, it comes with a huge power brick, which is okay. I totally get why you need a huge power brick to kind of power not only this dock, but also the MacBook Pro and everything else that might be connected to this Thunderbolt dock. So I really enjoyed this. And as you can see here, this Gura Gear Etc. pouch is the perfect size to keep this dock kind of organized in this pocket. And that's basically everything that I have been carrying in this backpack. And yeah, let's go over what I like and dislike about this bag. Alright, now that you have seen what I carry inside this backpack, you were able to see that there was a bunch of stuff. There were so many things, and this bag honestly is very heavy with everything that is inside. But let's go over the good stuff first, then the bad stuff, and then my final verdict. So the good stuff is, this is extremely comfortable to carry around, but also to lug around, because not only are the shoulder straps really comfortable and have loading lifters, to which I get in just a second, but the shoulder strap is pretty much very wide, so I would say about 2 inches wide, so about 10 centimeters, maybe 9 centimeters in width, which means in addition to the padding, which fortunately, and I do like this, is available. There is some padding, but it's not like overly padded, because when something is overly padded, it gets a little bit too bulky. But as soon as you add width to your shoulder strap, it kind of distributes the weight onto your shoulders a little bit better. So having a good combination of some padding, not too much, but a wide shoulder strap makes the bag really comfortable. And as soon as you kind of can shape the shoulder strap with load lifters to your frame, it makes it, at least for my frame, really comfortable to carry around. That made it so enjoyable. However, which is another plus point in comfortability, are the top handle and the side handle. Yes, they could be a little bit more padded, but they are still very comfortable in the way that they are not having hard edges. So when you maneuver this bag, either on the top or the side handle, which I find very important with my height, it is extremely easy to maneuver, for example, out of your car, or when you are sitting at your desk, to maneuver it around your desk, because I personally keep the bag underneath my table. But sometimes there's a client wanting to sit next to me, then I kind of need to maneuver that backpack somewhere else. And with these side handles and top handles, it is very easy to do so and very comfortably to do so. This bag also stands up on its own when it's fully loaded. When it's not fully loaded, it has the potential to fall over depending on what items you have been loading, and obviously the weight shifted a little bit in there. It really depends on what's inside, but it does stand up on its own. So that makes it very easy to utilize and maneuver in a tight space, so to say. Next up, what I really like is the overall layout of the pockets. So you have a main compartment that is clamshell opening that gives you really good access to the inside, but with a caveat. I will get to that in a second. You have a big, I would say, quick access stash pocket here on the top. While this is a really huge compartment in a way that it is deep and that it would kind of fit a magazine, so flatter items depending on what you have inside. But for me, this is a perfect place to store my DJI Pocket 3 and quickly access it when I need to vlog, for example. And then you have two of these side outer pockets, which are loaded, as you have seen previously, with my Boo kit and with my extended EDC. I do like this kind of external, very organized way to store these. You know, the Mission Workshop rake had a similar layout in a way that you had two side front pockets to organize small items. And I have to admit, I kind of regret not having the Mission Workshop rake anymore, because that is a great bag. This kind of reminded me of that. Then you have a side water bottle pocket, which I utilize for food if I get hungry. A laptop compartment, which is somewhat suspended. I wish there were a little bit more suspension there. I would say technically there is a suspended laptop compartment. Practically, I feel like it is still way too close to the ground. So I would still say use that little hack that I sometimes recommend, where you have this, do I have one here? Yeah, here. So in Germany we have these things that call Tempo. This is basically just a package of tissue. I know that Kleenex has these as well. So you can put that in your laptop slot, and then your laptop basically stands on top of this pocket. Or you could go to a hardware store and buy some hard foam, also put it in there. Again, technically speaking, it is suspended. Practically speaking, I would say it's not suspended, at least not enough. It's still, if you aren't careful and drop the bag to the ground, there is the risk of your laptop still somewhat hitting the ground. Again, this is my personal opinion in terms of if it is suspended or not. Again, someone technically speaking, it could be considered suspended, but I don't consider it that way. You have a quick access pocket here on the top, and there I have stuff that I need to access quickly, for example, chapstick. And yeah, that's basically it in terms of what I really like about it. But yeah, let's cover the negatives first, and then I tell you why this is an amazing backpack that I can highly recommend. First and foremost, there are some, I would say, I'm leaving in this break because I don't know how to say it really well. Some quality control issues, or not I'm not sure if it's quality control, so I'm struggling a little bit to tell you what it is. So the load lifters, they don't keep in place the way I would like. Usually when I set up load lifters, so I put on the bag, I set the load lifters, and whenever I take off the bag, the setting of the load lifters stays in place. But these load lifters always somewhat reset, so they aren't able to kind of keep the strap in place. So every time I take them off, the load lifters kind of reset, but only on the one side. And that is why I'm saying somewhat of a quality control issue, because the right side, but the one that sits on my left shoulder, that one stays in place. The left one that is on my right shoulder, that you can see on the left side now, that always resets. So I don't really like that at all. Next up, this is a small detail, but here are some attachment points for carabiners. And if you can see here in my DB roll, on the one side, it is very tightly, or not tightly, but it looks like correctly in terms of length how it is attached. On the other side, it's not as tight. How do I describe? They don't have the same length and the same distance to hold this attachment point in place. From a usability standpoint, that's not a big deal. But my OCD brain was like, why is this shoulder strap different than the other one? And I was like, okay, this should happen in my point of view. This is a quality, in my humble opinion, a quality control issue. If there's one shoulder strap, clearly in terms of the load lifter and in terms of the way this is attached on the strap, there is a discrepancy. They are different. So this is a quality control issue in my mind. So I did not really, again, from a usability standpoint, this is not a big deal. But I would say, why did that happen? Next up, here in the front. So they call this a feature, but honestly, I'm not too sure because I didn't use it. So here in the front, there is this kind of strap that in terms of practicability or usefulness, or in practice, it's not that useful. You can kind of see here that I keep this very loose for the pure reason that if you pull it tight, you actually pull tight your water bottle slot, and you cannot put anything into the water bottle slot because this strap is kind of if you pull it too tight, prohibit anything going into the water bottle. Furthermore, if you open up this strap, you cannot completely open it in a way that the zippers always get in the way of this strap. So you kind of have to maneuver it around underneath this strap to kind of fully open that backpack. Not a big deal, but still something that is a little bit where I would say it is a design flaw. I get what you want to achieve, but in practice, this doesn't work as you would like. But it's not a deal breaker at all for me, because everything else that I mentioned previously, although it didn't sound like much, is amazing. All of the pockets and the way you utilize these pockets is so much fun. It makes, in my mind, so much sense the way I organize all of these items for my needs. The main compartment is so big, although honestly I don't feel this bag to be this big and overwhelming. Sometimes with carry-on bags that are 30 liters, this is not 30 liters, but it feels like I can fit 30 liters of stuff in here. It doesn't overwhelm me in terms of bulkiness, in terms of size overall. I really enjoy using this bag, and the build quality, despite those quality control issues. Again, it looks weird. It feels weird that the carabiner attachment point isn't the same as the other one. It isn't great that the load lifters don't stay in place, but it's not that big of an issue that it compromised my usability with this bag. So long story short, I enjoy the hell out of this bag. This bag is amazing. I love this bag so much, and yes, it is only January, but I will keep this in mind for my top 5 2026 bags. I like this a lot. If you want to get this bag or any other items that I mentioned in this video, check out the affiliate links below. With those, you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale, and if you do so, thank you very much. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this bag, yay or nay, and if you want to check out a different backpack, or maybe check out my top 5 video of last year and kind of see which bags I enjoyed a lot last year. Check it out up here. YouTube thinks they like the video down here, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. If you watch the video to the end, maybe comment this round black emoji, I don't know, this is a black ball or something, in the comments below. Alright, thank you so much, and see you in the next video.